Hi, I'm attorney Eric Lewis with Lewis Legal Services in Indianapolis. Today I have a quick video to talk about recent changes made to the amounts available under Indiana law to exempt property from creditors. Now, although these are usually referred to as bankruptcy exemptions, they're actually exemptions that apply both to bankruptcy cases and to non-bankruptcy cases in Indiana, where you have a judgment debtor, and of course that's a person who owes money on a judgment, can protect a certain amount of value or property. And in bankruptcy, if you didn't already know, Indiana is what is called an opt-out state, meaning that Indiana has opted out of the federal bankruptcy exemptions. So debtors who live in Indiana and file bankruptcy in Indiana are limited to the exemptions provided by Indiana law and non-bankruptcy federal law. So for example, the Social Security Act protects Social Security. That's a federal law, but it's not part of the bankruptcy code. But it could be used to protect Social Security if somebody files bankruptcy. And I'm not going to get into a lot more detail about that in this video because there are a few exceptions to be aware of. But Indiana law requires that the exemptions amounts be updated every 6 years based on changes to the consumer price index to inflation. So as of March 1st, 2022, we do have new numbers. So let's go ahead and get into it here. First, let's take a look at the exemption that covers your home, your personal residence. The new number is $22,750. So if you own a home and you file bankruptcy and it's your personal residence, you can protect $22,750 in equity. I have a separate video that talks about protecting your home in bankruptcy, so you can view that for much more detail on how it works. If a married couple files bankruptcy and both are on the home, they may choose to use this personal residence exemption and can double it to $45,500. There's also another exemption that's not listed here called tenancy by the entireties that might be utilized by a married couple filing bankruptcy. The tangible personal exemption is now $12,100. If you try to research this stuff online, you might see this mistakenly viewed or listed as a wild card exemption. But unlike the federal exemptions, Indiana does not have a wild card exemption that you can use to just cover anything. Tangible personal property is basically all of your stuff. Your car, your furniture, your jewelry, your electronics, literally the clothes you're wearing. It can also be applied to real estate that you own or have an interest in that's not your personal residence, like a rental property or an investment property. But as you can see, $12,100, that doesn't go very far in protecting that kind of equity. So it's pretty much used to cover and protect your personal belongings when you file bankruptcy. And finally, we come to the most piddly exemption of them all, the intangible exemption. So after 6 years, it went up a whopping $50 from $400 to $450. So what does that mean? Well, the intangible exemption covers your money. Money in the bank, cash, coins, money owed to you. Of course, money other than wages from employment, which is an entirely different exemption. Just like retirement accounts and Social Security have their own exemptions. But if we're just talking about money in a bank account or on a prepaid debit card, something of that type, this is it. It's a terrible exemption amount that is not debtor-friendly whatsoever. So if you do file bankruptcy, you're entitled to keep $450 that you have on hand when your case is filed. A married couple can double that to $900. Now, the National Consumer Law Center publishes a 50-state survey reviewing each state's exemptions, and they assign a letter grade from A to F based on the amount of protection a debtor in that state gets from available exemptions. And I believe the most recent letter grade I saw for Indiana was a D, and it's easy to see why. I believe Massachusetts allows debtors to keep something like $2,500 in the bank. Montana's exemption for a house is something like $350,000. It's something like $600,000 for a home in Nevada. So, then there are other states that have unlimited homestead exemptions that protect the family home, no matter the value, or more importantly, wild card exemptions that allow a debtor to use unused exemption for real estate to apply to other property. So, for example, if you don't own a home and don't need to protect a home, you can use that wild card exemption to protect other property and assets. That's not the case in Indiana. Now, of course, there are a lot of other exemptions that cover particular things in their entirety, like retirement accounts, Social Security, home health aids, money and health savings accounts, things like that. But these are the three most commonly used exemptions that cover things that just about everybody has. So there you have it. The Indiana bankruptcy exemptions for 2022. Now, it's possible that this might change before 2028 if the law changes, but for now, these are the exemptions to use for Indiana residents. That's it for today. Leave a comment below, contact your state rep about making Indiana exemptions better, and as always, thank you for watching.